All right, y'all, welcome back. So if you watched the last video, I was out camping and I mentioned that I broke some of the wiring for the lights that are in the back of this truck. If you've been following along, you obviously know I have some lights up there and lights up there. And I broke one of the wires for that set of lights, so those don't turn on anymore. And the goal for today is to see if we can get this fixed. I'll show you guys what's going on in here. Let me turn some lights on. All right. So those are on and those are not on. And I'm running these off of an ISOL power box. That's what I've been running on forever. Ooh, need another light. There we go. So you can see we've got our box down here and these plug right in to this side of it with the, it's called an SAE style connector, I believe. And if you can see, maybe, lighting is not great in here. It's kind of dark in the truck without the lights on. This one is completely broken off. That would have gone right in here. And this side is starting to fray and is almost broken off. So you unplug it right there. And that's the connector that we need. This is also the charging port for this box. But it runs, the box has a amped lithium battery. Hop out of the truck now. Put all this stuff back down. Oop, sorry about that. The battery is an amped lithium battery, and if I remember right, that came with an extra connector. So let's head on down to the basement and see if I've got another one. We haven't put any shelves up down here, so it's nice and messy, but is what it is. Here's my fishing junk. Oh, there's the box. There we go. So that's the battery that's in the back of there. And this is for a charger. Let me see if I got somewhere to hang this dang old camera up and show it to you. Yeah, so we've got an extra one. There's actually, looks like there's a couple of them in here. So we've got one here that you can see, and this one's actually a fused connector. Are these all the same thing? All right, so we've got 3 of them that we can try. This one is different though. This one, if you can see maybe on that camera, the positive and negative are on the opposite sides. The color of the wire doesn't matter. I'll just have to figure out how it's coming out of that box and what the lights need. And we should be able to wire these back up. But I'm gonna run to town. What else is in here? Oh, sweet, because I was gonna get some of these too. I'll just show you this thing quick. So this is a butt connector that you can use to wire everything together. And it's got a little bit of solder in the middle. So when you hit that with the heat gun, that solder melts and connects the wires up nicely. And I've got 5 of them. So we should be able to make that work. But I'm gonna run to town and see if I can find another set of those lights. And that way, not only will I have some on the driver's side, I'll have some on the passenger side above that shelf, but I'm gonna see if I can find another set, clip them off, and I'll put 4 of those lights underneath the shelf so that I don't have to hopefully don't have to keep moving lights around to get that proper light so you guys can actually see me in the videos. And the videos are kind of, it's not the same as you see in person. It's always brighter in the truck than is what it actually shows on the camera. And sometimes while I'm editing, I brighten that footage up a little bit, but this should help. And I say I'm gonna get the exact same set. We'll see what they have. Any of these like low voltage 12 volt lights or whatever, I should be able to just cut and splice in whatever I want. So we're gonna find out what we have. And then I'll probably also grab junk to change oil because I need to do that too. So anyways, let's get headed to the store. Well, driving down the gravel road and I met a semi coming the other direction and caught a big rock on the windshield and got a nice rock chip. how old is this truck? And that is the first rock chip I've got in this windshield. It's the original windshield. You guys can see it right there. So we might see if we can find a glass shop and see if I can get that chip repaired before it spreads. I don't know if they'll be able to.
66 east for 1 mile.
I don't know if they'll be able to repair it or not, but we're gonna stop and see if we can do that, because I'd rather not have to pay to replace the whole thing. Die! All right, made it to O'Reilly's. There's what we've got. All right. Junk has been acquired. We got oil change, filter, and I just picked up the exact same set of lights because why not? And now I'm gonna see if I can find a glass shop. Get in the truck first. Yeah, super bummed about that. That's the first chip I've got, and this truck is a 2009. I've owned it since it was new, so the fact that I caught a chip, of course, that's the dangers of living down gravel, but these things happen. All right, let's see what I can find. Just up the road. Zima. It's 3 minutes away. We actually got kind of lucky on that.
Head north toward North 205th Street.
Cool beans for that. Move this so my oil doesn't fall down. Dang old dang. All right. Hopefully that doesn't cost too terribly much, and hopefully they can get me in right away. Who knows? If not, there are multiple glass shops, I guess, that I could go to. It would just be nice to get it done right away.
Take the next right onto North 205th Street, then turn right onto North Main Street.
All right, y'all, we're all fixed up. I stopped here at A Plus Auto Glass, and it's the third place I went. Everywhere else was busy, couldn't get me in, but these guys got me in 20 minutes, and you can still just slightly see it in there, but it's way better, and it's guaranteed not to chip or spread or whatever. So big shout out to these guys for getting me right in. I'm gonna go get myself some lunch because it's 12:02, and then we'll get home and get working on this. And my lens is dirty. But yeah, shout out to A Plus Auto Glass here in Omaha for hooking me up. All right, let's get out of here. All right, y'all, we've made it back to the house. I also stopped at Harbor Freight and I picked up a heat gun because I didn't have one of these. And this is gonna work better to use those soldered joints, those soldered butt connectors, in order to not burn the crap out of them like with a lighter or whatever. You can use a lighter, but when you're doing jobs like this, that's the perfect excuse to buy the tool that you need. At least that's how I've accumulated my tools. So I'm probably just gonna grab that box from the front of there, and we'll see what we need to do as far as which side of the wires that we need. And then that one will be the same. That way I don't need to pull that stuff down. We'll figure out the wiring, which way the connector is on there, and then we can do the crimping and the heat gun inside of there. All right. So, don't want to sit on my phone. I might be able to just look in here. Yeah, so we've got, if you can see your positive and negative. Positive is usually always red, so we've got positive and negative going out. So I know which one is which. So that means I should know which is which on here. And I need something to open the package up. I'm gonna end up with an extra 4 lights. I don't really have any plan to do anything with those. And I don't feel like I need to add them inside anywhere else. So we'll just leave them. I guess in the future, if I want to use them, I can. But it's unnecessary. And then I think it's got this little tester. And if I remember right, that's a separate light in itself. Let's just hope these are still on the same plug. Yeah, so that's what you get. You get an extra one if you wanted to wire that in somewhere. But once again, I don't need that. All right. And these do come with screws if you want to hard mount them. Each one of these lights has screw holes on it right there. So you can mount those with screws. They also come with this sticky 3M stuff. I don't know how I'll put them in the bottom of that thing. It's wood. We might use the screws. I don't know, we'll see. See what I feel like doing. And there we go. We've got our other connector here. And this should just plug right in here. It's a tight connection. Hit the button, and we've got a light. So I know which is which coming out of there now, since the inside is color coded. So I know I need the negative on a specific side. Hopefully this short one is like that, but I don't think so. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. I can flip-flop them. It'd just be easier, smarter if they were the same color, you know? And this one will work perfectly. So we just need to do some cutting and splicing. And these lights, they are angled. If you can see, it's flat on this side where your mounting is, and they're angled this way. So I want to put them underneath the shelf so the angle is pointed towards the end of inside the truck. So just got to make sure I cut the right side off. So we've got the correct side. I'm gonna clip these off pretty close to this plug here, but I'll leave a little pigtail on the plug just in case I want to reuse this plug at some point. I've got a toolbox of electrical stuff here. We've got ourselves a wire stripper. Cut that guy off. Need to get a little rolling tool cart, would be nice in here. Guess I could have looked at those while I was at Harbor Freight, but didn't think about it. Don't need any of this. We don't need those. All right. Guess let's head into the truck and get these connected together. All right, I know it's a little tight and kind of odd angles in here, but I'm just going to cut this plug all the way off. Trim these wires back and strip them. And then we've got our box here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of touch these all together just to make sure everything is functioning like I want it to. This side, I'll go ahead and twist these together because they should be the same. I'll turn this back on, see if these all light up. Yes. Make sure these are the same, just to check them. Don't want to have to resolder things. I know you can't see my face up there, but all right, we're good to go that way. I'm gonna twist all of these together. If these hadn't broken right at the plug, I could have reused that plug, but I know this camera doesn't focus very well. You may be able to see a little bit better now that they are frayed right here at the edge, and this is probably just from bending and doing that over and over again. So this plug with the thicker wires is going to work better anyways. Might not be able to push it back as far, but that's fine. All right, we've got our little solder connections here, and grab our heat gun. Harbor Freight Special, that's all you need. I know a lot of people talk negatively about Harbor Freight tools, but man, if you're doing just random stuff like this, they are more than enough. You don't need to have super fancy name brand tools in order to do much of anything. If you're doing it professionally for a living, that's when you start to worry about stuff like that. But I am not a professional at anything. The only thing I wish this would have came with, they make little attachments for the front of these. Like they make one that goes on and it's like a metal shield, so it kind of concentrates the heat all around something, but this will be fine. And we've got multiple heat settings. I don't know what I'm gonna need. Let me look at the instructions quick. Just for my own reference. We're just going to figure it out. Just make sure this turns on. Go like halfway. That gets hot quick. You definitely do some melting. And this one, you can set it like this. Since the air intakes are on the side of it, you can set it down on the ground. If you guys can see that, you can set it flat and then just hold your piece over the top of it and work it like that. So I think that might be what I'll do if I have enough room. I do not, because I can't really pull these wires away from the wall over here. Check one more time just to make sure. We have the right connections. We do. Hopefully you guys can see a little bit of what I'm doing. I know it's kind of tight space back in here. You want to get that little silver solder joint ring right over your wires that are exposed, like so. Hopefully you guys can see that. We've got our exposed wire in there, and that way that solder hits that and melts. Try not to melt our actual wires. Don't need that plugged in. I'm not gonna be able to hold that like that. All right. Don't know how hot I need to get these. Oh, that got it going. Whew. The production oils are coming off of that thing. Probably hard to see, but the solder in those did melt. So it is what we expected it to be. I might hit them with the heat a little bit more and get this end to tighten up maybe. Although it's probably fine. It's probably fine. And that thing made me break a sweat. It's getting warm anyways today. All right, we'll give that a couple minutes to cool off, and let's go ahead and get these lights mounted up on the bottom of this shelf up here. I want them basically as far back as I can. They're gonna sit right about even with the lights that are up top, but as far as the spacing goes, and we'll keep the wires fairly tight. I'm gonna have to figure out something that I can use to hold those wires up, because I don't have anything with me right now other than like tape. Staples would probably be good. Now what should we use? Should we use screws or should we use the double-sided tape? It's tiny little screws, but I've got a little screwdriver kit here with multiple bits so we can get the best fit. Start on this end. Like I said, I'm gonna basically just set them in there even with the lights that are above them, because should keep the cord nice and tight. And I'll have to get myself some screws or something, or some staples, if I can do this. It'd probably just be easier to do this with the double-sided tape. Yeah, scratch that. We're taping them up. The only thing with this tape is it may be affected by the heat. Who knows? One day I may come out here and these have fallen down. But it's made to, these lights are made to go underneath your bed rails, inside of your truck bed here. And then I think they make an adapter so that that plug will plug into your trailer light harness. I could be wrong, but I believe that's why they do it with this style of plug on the end. And then I don't know, they must turn on with like your park lights or something like that. I don't know, I've never used them the way they're meant to be used, so. Yep, that's gonna be a whole lot easier. Now the hardest part is just getting the sticky back off of this stuff. There we go. Not too shabby. We'll stretch them out nice and tight. Guess I should make sure I'm kind of putting them in the same line. Guess it's a little bit farther down than the top one, but that's fine. Can you see? Yeah, I'm gonna need something to like hold these wires up. It's kind of it's gonna be the ugliest part. Maybe I can just find some gray tape and put a piece of gray, I mean, I could use duct tape, I guess. But a few staples would probably be the smartest move. Whew. I don't know if I have a staple gun, I guess. I don't know if I got staples. We'll take a look. Close enough. Now, if I want to use the screws, it'd be a whole lot easier to get them in. We'll see how these handle the hanging upside down and the vibrations and driving around and the heat and all that stuff. Not super worried about it if they fall down. These things happen. All right, first let's plug them in, see how they work. Bam. Got my pantalones in front of that one. But there we go. That should help a lot, especially when it's dark or whatever. Typically I've been using this, which is also a Harbor Freight little rechargeable light, and I just hang it from my curtain rod and point it at me. We'll see how this works in the dark, since those aren't pointed straight at me, but since these are up here and this blocks it, like it just created a big shadow. So it was always dark right in this area. So this should help a ton. I'm gonna maybe kind of zip tie these wires together over here, or do something along those lines, maybe a little bit of electrical tape. And let's go check the toolbox and see if I have a staple gun or something to staple these up. Although I don't know if I want to use staples. Tape might be the best choice. I'm just going to leave it for right now and see what I think of. That's good to go. We are good. We are set. That's all we needed to do in here. All right, so we've got our lights up. Stoked on that. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the oil change. I don't think I need to show that to you guys. I've done it a few times on the channel, so we'll just knock that out off camera. But simple fix, you know, you don't need a ton of tools. You could have used a lighter instead of that heat gun to shrink that stuff. You could have used a pocket knife or any kind of sharp knife to strip those wires. You don't need a professional wire stripper or anything like that. You could have used the scissors to cut the wiring. So really you don't need any fancy tools to do this. And all I needed was that extra plug, and luckily I had one in that battery, with that battery that's in that power box there. So we've got our lights fixed. I guess stay tuned for the next adventure. I'll see you in a bit.